Dosm Rider Review. Hey YouTube, Dosm Rider here with another edition of Dosm's Rambles on the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers reboot movie. I apologize if I still sound a little funny, I'm on the tail end of the flu, so sorry about that, but I wanted to post this while it was semi-relevant. This is more of a, sort of relevant news ramble rather than a series review ramble, which I still plan on doing Die Ranger, just so you know. But anyway, yesterday, because this video was posted on a Thursday, but yesterday on Wednesday it was announced that Saban has partnered with Lionsgate to bring us a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie at some point in the near future. At least there's plans to. Not much was given other than there was plans to do that and, a generic synopsis of essentially what Mighty Morphin Power Rangers is. So there's not a whole lot necessarily to talk about in terms of their details, but there's some fun stuff to speculate about. Personally, I'm pretty excited about it. I mean, obviously, Power Rangers is one of my favorite things. If you don't watch my reviews, then this is probably a good key when you clicked on the video. So I'm pretty excited about it. Now, it's called Mighty Morphin Power Rangers right now. You never know, it could change and they could retitle the movie just Power Rangers. Now, personally, I get it, marketing-wise, why they would call it Mighty Morphin Power Rangers in any form, because it is the most recognizable. But at the same time, if they were to just call the movie Power Rangers, or Power Rangers the movie makes it sound like it's on ice for some reason. But anyway, if they were to just call it Power Rangers, or Power Rangers whatever, it would still be plenty recognizable, I think. I mean, there's nothing else called Power Rangers here in America, other than, like, bootleg stuff. But I get the Mighty Morphin angle, I just kind of wish we'd maybe just use Power Rangers. Like, I'd love for the movie to just be called Power Rangers. Because, honestly, the Mighty Morphin part does sound a little silly. Not that I want Power Rangers to be serious and be like, I'm Batman, I'm Tommy, or whatever, but, it does sound a little silly, and I can see how it can be sort of inaccessible, depending on what they're going for. So, I mean, I think the Power Rangers just sounds more normal, other than the Mighty Morphin part, but we'll see. You never know. It's so early to speculate. Anything I say in this video could be retconned within however many years it takes for this to actually happen. But, personally, I'd like them to ditch the Mighty Morphin thing, partly because I'm sick of the whole Mighty Morphin thing. But I think that, in general, even if they titled this Mighty Morphin, this is a huge opportunity for the franchise. Because, right now, PR is, I don't want to say it's super popular like it was when it came out, but it's in a pretty good place right now. I mean, the show's back, lots of kids are getting into it, us core fans are having, a good time with it right now. I mean, not necessarily at the show, but I mean, there's a lot to be into right now. There's toys and shows, and there's lots of stuff to like. Lots of merchandise now, and, for the nostalgia douches, as I call them, that are only watched the first few seasons, and are like, oh my god, my childhood, it's big right now. It's like the hot topic. Buy the shirts, buy the seasons to watch them, watch it on Netflix, whatever. So it's a huge time for it right now, so I think it's a good time. And I think it's a really good opportunity to sort of broaden the franchise. It's funny, when articles like this come out, or news stories rather, it's funny to read the comments and realize how little amount of people and like the mainstream realize that core Power Rangers fans like us exist, that have followed the franchise on and off or continuous or whatever, that still enjoy it or enjoyed season other than Mighty Morphin and have it as our main thing, as one of our main collections or fandoms. Because, people that are on there are either the MMPR people that were just only comment on their childhood, or there's little kids, and like it seems like the mainstream, the media in general, and then the mainstream population, I guess, only sees that there's, the nostalgia people and then kids. And there's us in the middle, which it makes you kind of realize how small our fan base is. As much as it's kind of grown over the last few years, we're pretty small. And then when people do comment in our core fandom, that they're fans, people tend to ostracize them and make it seem really strange, which it bothers me. Like, I don't need validation that I like this. I don't care what people think. But I just think it's silly with the amount of children's franchises and other franchises that have been rebooted and are socially acceptable to like at any age, that Power Rangers is frowned upon like that. I mean, it's not everywhere, but it's just funny that it's such a fringe thing that people don't understand that there's actually a core fandom for this, and there was more beyond MMPR that was actually good. Excuse me. So I think that this is an opportunity here. Now, I don't want to be attacked. I'm like ready for people to throw stuff at me through the screen about this, but I think the best way to go for this movie is in a sort of Transformers movie style. Now, don't attack yet. I don't mean like I want Michael Bay to do it. I don't want it to be done in an orange tone with boobs everywhere and Shia LaBeouf. But I mean, like, the idea behind it. I don't think that this movie should go too far to little kids. Like, obviously Power Rangers is a kid's franchise, but I don't think it should go too far to dumb down for little kids, and I don't want it to go in a gritty reboot Dark Knight direction, which I don't think it would, but I don't want it to go in either of those ways. I'm using a lot of hand movements about beginning, middle, and end here. But I don't want it to go too kiddie or too dark. I think it needs to be sort of in the middle, which is sort of the idea of the Transformers movies, or some superhero movies in general, where you want to try to make it appealing to everybody. You know, make the story... I mean, personally, I do enjoy the Transformers movies. I'll say it. I know they get a lot of hate. They're not the best movies ever, and they don't make my top anything, but I enjoy them fine. So, I think it's a good idea there, though. You know, you make it appealing to everyone. You make the story and the action so that anybody of any age can enjoy it. And you have humor in it. Personally, I thought some of the Transformers movie humor was funny, but, you know, some of it was a little dirty, I guess, so maybe not that for PR, but my point is, make it balanced, make it a sort of... Power Rangers never... I mean, I guess it does have engaging stories, but I mean, have a good story, or a story that at least is good enough for a blockbuster movie, a popcorn flick. Have fun action, have some humorous moments that aren't the stupid, hey, Bulk spilled smoothies on his face. I love Spike and Skull, but, you know, that humor is not really that big anymore for a lot of people. But, you know, have some good humor, have maybe a romance in it to get certain people, I don't know. But have a great catch-all. Like, I think the Transformers movies, like I said, I don't want it to be just like that, but I think that's a good example of the way of thinking of it, is make it appealing to everybody. And I want it to be this thing where people see it, and so the Power Rangers isn't this thing where it's either, oh my god, my childhood, or, that's for little kids. It's not like, you know, I love all kinds of children's shows, but it's just like, I'd love for people to be able to see it as something more, and, you know, be able to see it like Transformers. As you see it as something, hey, that's a movie I'd want to see during the summer. I think what I'd ultimately like to see is for the movie to do well, and, you know, get sequels, and be something that people like my age, that are my friends, that aren't into all this, that would say, hey, there's a new Power Rangers movie this summer, let's go see it, it's going to be awesome. So that's what I want. Like, I want to stress, I don't want it to be exactly like the Michael Bay movies, but that idea of it being widely appealing, have a story that's good to follow, and it's fun, and got humor in it, and I don't want to say... I hate when I say stuff like, I want Power Rangers to be more mature, because I don't want it to, like I said, be like a gritty reboot, but I want it to treat the audience intelligently. You know, I want it to be more mature in the sense that some of the recent incarnations, and, you know, the early days, they had this very way of sort of talking down to you. It was very much children's showy, which is fine. But for this movie, I'd love for them to sort of mature it up a bit, not in a dark sense, but in the sense that, you know, it's not talking down to the audience, and so that, you know, kids can enjoy it, and teenagers can enjoy it, and young adults can enjoy it, and adults can enjoy it, and dogs can enjoy it. So just, you know, I just want to, again, I want to stress, I mean mature in a sort of, you know, not a dark fashion, but in a, you know, a fashion like this, don't you get me? No, but I think you get what I mean. If you know me, you get what I mean. If you don't, you don't. But I mean, just mature in a sense that it's something that everybody can enjoy. Now, in terms of what I want to see out of the movie, I want to see, like it's supposed to be, a reboot. I want to see an entire reboot. I don't want this to be in continuity with the show. Now, if it isn't continuity with the show, and they tie it to it, I'm not going to be mad. But I personally want to see a different universe. I love the idea of the TV show running and the movie universe running as two different things. It gives them creative freedom. I want to see new casts. I don't want to see any old people, like, that might sound like I don't want to see old people in the movie, like actual old people, but I don't want to see any cast members in the movie. I think the most I would be fine with seeing, excuse me, would be something like a funny, like, Easter egg cameo, like a ranger working at a restaurant or in the background, or, like, bumps into somebody, or just a funny one-liner, like a Stan Lee type of thing. Maybe get some recognizable actors for both the mainstream and for the core fans that might recognize. That would be kind of fun, I guess. You know, like a Stan Lee style cameo for some of the fans. Except don't get JDF. I don't want to get into his shenanigans and let him ruin this video, but let's not reward this behavior. But so, that's the most I would want. Like I said, if somebody from the series is in it and they tie it into continuity or have like an alternate universe where it's the same character, I'm not going to flip out or anything. But I would like it to just be new people. Completely new, nothing to do with any of the old series, a new cast, even if they don't even use the same names for the original 5, new names, anything's possible. I just want to see it be new. You know, get some good actors in there, some good likable ones, just a whole fresh new take on it. As far as the suits, I'm pretty open to anything too. There's some really cool, MMPR G2 designs. The guy that designed the Mega Mode suits had some really cool designs. I would even be cool with them ditching the dinosaur theme and just going for like a regular theme. I'm open to pretty much anything, so long as it does good. But I'm getting a feeling they'll probably use the MMPR-ish dino aesthetic for recognizability. But I think it would be really cool just to get a refresh. It's a reboot, that's exactly what I want. Use the core premise, get some new actors, some really cool new designs. I'm kind of open to either spandex or armor. Honestly, my ultimate dream would be to be the Go Buster suits. That would be awesome. Just call it Power Rangers and it's the Go Buster suits. Honestly, I love those suits. They're probably one of my favorites, and they actually work really well for me for like a reboot movie just because they're like a really different suit. You know, they're made out of pleather. It's not spandex, and that would work for me. I doubt it'll happen. There's like a 1% chance of it happening. Sorry, I wanted to see what time it was. But the bottom line is I'm excited. I think this has a lot of potential. For all we know, it could maybe not happen. It could be dumb. They could bring all the people back. It could be JDF the movie and they clone them. But other than that scenario, which I just mentioned, I'm pretty open for anything. I'm not going to flip out if they do some old cast members or tie it back, but I think it's a good opportunity to create a new movie universe. And I'm hoping that, like I said, that it encourages people to check it out and see it as something other than this nostalgia child thing. And, maybe encourages those people to check out the series between MMPR and now, because there's been some really good stuff, and it's unfortunate that so many people that grew up with it like I did stopped. It's like they looked away right when something amazing happened. They're like the Blitz. They're like, oh, this is enough for now, and then Space happened, and then all the other awesome seasons after it happened. So yeah, I'm excited. Look forward to seeing what's happening. I think it's got a lot of potential. We'll have to see. But that's about it. For more, maybe in-depth thoughts, my thoughts bounced off other people, you can check out the RR podcast. There's a link in the bottom to the podcast site. This will probably go up a couple days before the cast, but this week's podcast, myself and Shugurt Shinobi and Jedimon and Aerosol will be discussing it, so look forward to that discussion. I'm sure it will be insane. But honestly, this news is pretty boring compared to the Ruby and Sapphire remakes that were just announced.